So, hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel of our GFG POTD streak of our day 112. And before starting the question today, if you are new to this channel, please like, share, and subscribe so that we can learn, grow, and maintain our streak together. So, great. So, let's see what the today's question is about. Today's question name is Balloon Everywhere. Balloon. Yeah, balloon everywhere. So, it's an easy category question, and it's actually an easy category question. So, let's read the question and we'll see that how we can solve it. So Bob is a very fond of balloons. Once he visited an amusement park with his mother. Okay, see, he visited amusement park with his mother. That's great. So the mother told Bob she would buy him a balloon only if he answered her problem right. So that's a very great habit of mother. They tend to ask question to you. She gave Bob a string S. Okay, she gave a string contains only lowercase letters. My mom doesn't even know what is lowercase letters. And asked him to use the characters of string to form as many instances of the word balloon as possible. So return the maximum number of instances that can be formed. Help Bob to solve the problem. You can use each character in the string at most once. Okay, so I have been given a string by my mother and I have to say that how many instances of this word balloon I can form from that given string. So it is actually a very good or let's say very naive question. So S is given as NLAEBOLKO, the output is 1, saying that because the occurrence of B is 1, A 1, and similarly LON, so we can take form only one balloon using the letters. So the signal is very clear, guys. We just have to form or maintain the frequency of each and every letter that is coming in our balloon, right? And since L and O comes twice in our balloon word, right? So that means after having the frequency of L and O, we have to divide it by 2 because then only we can make sure the minimum number of total word we can, or I can say total number of instances for each word we can found, right? So what I'm saying is L has occurred twice, right? As you can see here, L has occurred twice and O has occurred twice, right? But you can see that B, A, and N are just once, right? So suppose B was also 2, A was also 2, and N was also 2, right? Then that means that can you form two instances of balloon? You cannot, right? Because in one word you need two O's and two L's, right? So that means when you maintain the count of L and O divided by 2, so that is gives us 1, divided by 2, that gives us 1, because in each word you have two instances of O and two instances of L. So that's a very good, not a rocket science logic here. So okay, so that's the ending, and you have to just do this, and then you have to print the minimum of the count available, right? The minimum of the count of uh, the characters that are present in balloon, right? So for this case, if I just say you that it will be converted into 2, it will also be converted into 2. So what's the minimum of all the numbers of the frequency of balloon, like BALON? You can see that the minimum is 2, right? So you can see that the minimum of 2 instances can be formed. So what we will do that we will maintain of a map of character and integer, right? We will store the frequency. This will be our first step. Second step will be to store the frequency, right? After storing the frequency, we will do the frequency of O by 2 and L by 2, and then we will just iterate in map, and find the minimum of all the values. Find the minimum of frequency. That was it for the logic part. What would be the time complexity? That we are using a for loop to store each and every frequency characters in our array, so it will be O of n, and the space complexity will be just O of 1, because we are just using constant space. Let's say O of 5, because there are just 5 characters, right? B A L O N 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 ha 5 characters. So it will be O of 5, that is O of constant. It is as good as you say as you say O of 1, right? So let's code the solution. So this code is like very simple. I will not code it in front of you. Let me pause the video here and now let me make the video. Let me code it, right? Or should I do it in front of you guys? It will like unnecessarily go beyond 10 minutes. Like if it will exceed beyond, I will pause the video, right? Till then, let's code it. So I will say what integer map is equals to new hash map, right? And I can see one spelling mistake here, so let me correct it. Character. Correct. We are good to go. Now we will just use a for loop that is for int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. What I need to do, that I have to show the frequency, then I will say, and I have to need to show the frequency for just specific character, that is if it is equals to a, right? And let me copy this thing 4 times. If it is a, if it is b, if it is l, if it is o, and if it is n, right? So let's just change the characters. So if it is what? B. If it is B, if it is L, if it is O, and if it is N. If it is N. Let's remove the remaining things. Great. We will say that map.put, and while I'll put the whenever I use the put function, I always use this map.get or default, right? It will itself consider that if that characters have never came before in my map, then use the value as 0, else use the previous value and increment it by 1. So I will say default default, and I will say ch, take the value of ch, if not present take 0 and do +1, right? That is it for the putting part. Then you have to do that map dot put, you have to like change the values, right? You can either use replace or put. I'm just using the put method again. All these things are O of 1 operation, so never mind. So I will say that map dot get of what, since it's a character, I will mention in the single quote, I will do by 2, right? The same line of code I will run again for this O thing, right? Last step that I will iterate in my map. So I will say before that I will make a variable that is int answer, and I will say that it is pointing to integer dot max value, because I have to take out the min from it, right? I have to compare the min. So I will say integer dot max value. The last thing that I will do dot for character x in, let's say what, you need to traverse in key. So I will say key set. If you want to traverse in value, then I guess that is value set. I don't know, check it. So answer equals to math dot min. I will say map dot get of x, and then compare with the answers to the minimum part, and we are good to go. And I will say that return. Okay, what is happening to my typing today? So return answer. That is it. Let's compile and run, and we will check. The time complexity will be O of n for this for loop, and the space complexity will be constant. I don't think I need to explain that thing. Okay, so we are getting compilation error in this naive code. That's like complex to me. So it's already 8:25. So let's hit the compile button one more time, and then I will character, or I will say char ch is equals to s dot char at I. Right? I'll hit the one more compilation button. If not, then I will pause the video, because I don't want to exceed it. Okay, null pointer exception. That's great. Let me pause the video. So the only mistake here it was that instead of L, I just mistyped it by semicolon, right? So that's what a typing mistake. So the compilation matched, and let's hit the submit button, and it will surely get submitted because it's less than 10 power 8 bound and successfully submitted. So that's great. Why it was 10 power 8? Let us see that what was the constraint. So n is 10 power 6, and it is surely less than 10 power 8. So that's it. Let's meet in the next video, day 112. So till then, keep studying, keep growing, and if you're asking that's my DSL repository, you can start and put good help with the source code, as well as I have recently completed my recursion playlist. You can watch that playlist, right? And I will be soon adding the trees section as well as the DP section, and I will take the questions from maybe from DSA 450 or maybe another sheet, right? So stay tuned, right? So let me show you the playlist. That's the playlist, right? DSA by Akshay. The name is there, and you can view it. Till then, keep studying, keep growing, and bye bye. Take care.